Jalen, I've read that you studied both Kobe and MJ this offseason. What were you looking for in terms of to get yourself better this year by looking at them?
Yeah, I think those are two guys that I have a ton of respect for, and I always have. You know, they've been in many ways a standard for what they've done, and as a competitor. And those are two guys that I've always admired. Learning about them and learning more about them and diving into Kobe and early on and being able to watch him play as a kid and kind of realizing where it came from. And so those are two guys that I have respect for.
Devontae Smith said he was shocked that he was named a captain. What did it mean to you for him and AJ to be named captains and voted on by you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for them to step in and lead, be vocal, and be heard. Obviously, I think the patch is it is what it is, but I think that doesn't inhibit you from speaking up. And so even the guys that don't have the C's on their chest, they're able to dominate in their role, lead in their role, and lead in their own way, and set the right example. So I think, you know, on the team, you want to have a team full of leaders. You want to have a team full of guys that do the right thing, set the right example, and hold each other accountable and hold themselves accountable, most importantly.
Looking at when you look at the film from this Patriots team, what have you noticed from the film, and what type of challenge do you expect them to bring?
Great question. I think, you know, this is a great team, a well-coached team that we're about to play against in a very tough environment. And for us, we just have to control the things that we can. Going into it week one, just doing our best and being clean and executing at a high level. But they have a ton of athletes on the back end. And their linebacker crew, they play physical. They fly to the ball. And I think their D-line, and they have really good edge rushers. And the guys inside do a really good job as well. So, you know, we just have to execute.
As a follow-up to that, as someone who kind of studies and had a lot of information, at this point in your career, there are some teams you see often. When you face a team that you don't see very often, like for the first time, what's that week like? How's it different preparing in that case?
I think for us, the process, it remains the same for us, you know, and it's about putting ourselves in the best situation to try and go out there and play at a high level. And so we're trying to limit it being about the opposition. Obviously, have a ton of respect for this team and have a ton of respect for every team that we play. But we just want to focus on, you know, how we want to attack them, you know, and hopefully we'll come up with something really good for that.
How have you gotten better at making checks at the line and getting out of a bad play into a good play?
I don't think it's necessarily a better or worse thing. I think it's a comfort thing, and you know, I think that's something that comes over time for some. Some may come into the league and be able to do it off the rip, but I think it's a comfort, and I think it's an understanding of what you're doing, and it ultimately comes with the repetition and experience factor that you've had.
The key to setting the tone week one?
I think for us, it's coming out and setting the tone. Setting the tone looks like a team that's playing with high intensity, high focus, attention to detail, being relentless, and controlling the things that we can. You know, I think you play team football, everybody has a role. Everybody has a role, and I think over the years I've been able to see the importance of that and learn the importance of those roles. And no role is more important than the other. Everybody has to put their hand in and dominate their box so we can get the finished product that we want. And so just coming out and executing, everybody buying into that, and obviously having all hands in and doing it.
Jalen, I know that when you're in the moment during...
Earlier today, Bill Belichick said, quote, and then labeled you arguably the best player in the league. A twofold question, but what's your reaction to that? And building on, you know, preparing for the Patriots, what makes him, you know, going up against a Bill Belichick team so difficult, or the challenges that come with that?
Well, yeah, I think he's arguably one of the best coaches to ever coach this game. You know, the consistency he's been able to have and the production he's been able to have, and obviously how he impacts everybody from afar. I see that, and I have a lot of respect for that. So those are nice words from him. And I think, again, you're talking about a really good team, a really good defense, a well-coached team, and for us, we just have to control the things that we can going into this game.
I know that during training camp you're focused on each day, but once you get through it, are you able to look back at that as a chunk and gain things from it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a moment to reflect on everything and all things. And when you look at training camp, that's a moment where you're building, where you're trying to create an identity. You kind of try and set the tone for what you want to do and what you want to be. And so it's a ton of opportunity to reflect on that. And what I take away from it is, we're still a work in progress. We're still a work in progress. We're still learning. We're still growing. We're still evolving. And it's a great thing.
Now that you're,
What do you like about the running back room heading into the season? It's obviously a little bit different than last year and everything.
Yeah, obviously you look in that room year in and year out, you always have some go-getters in there, and I think we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, and they're all ball players, So we're gonna need all of those guys, and you never know how the year goes, but it's gonna take everyone from that room.
now that you're an established leader on the team, what ways are you seeing the team take on sort of your personality and your work habits?
I feel like that's I don't know if I want to say a self-flattering question or I don't know how to answer that, but I don't know if I can speak on that truly just from my personality. I think that's a question for someone else. All I want is a team that I feel has a certain type of mentality and love playing with guys who carry the culture, and so. If I have an opportunity to set that culture and that standard every day, that's something that I can control. I can't control if they follow me or not, but I definitely appreciate that they do.
There had been a report after the draft that if the Eagles hadn't taken you, the Patriots would have. Did you ever know of that, and do you think that maybe that has something to do with Bill's high praise of you?
Seems like there are a lot of people that would have taken me if I was there.
Going back to Alabama, what do you remember about Mac Jones, and seeing him then as opposed to now and everything, how much he's grown?
Yeah, man, Mac has always been a great competitor, had a hunger for the game and just learning and always challenging himself. So, I'm looking forward to him doing big things this year.
I talked to AJ and Slay earlier, and AJ was like he's sick of going against Slay in practice because Slay knows all of his routes and he can't wait to go against someone else. Do you feel a little bit of that? I mean, you didn't play the preseason game.
I don't. I think there's everybody has their own perception on it and perspectives, but I think anytime you have an opportunity to go out there, you just want to execute. And so, regardless who's out there, that's the goal. And it's to win the rep is the goal in the end, the end goal. So. We're preparing. We're preparing for a big game Sunday, and we just want to prepare our best to be ready to play our best.
The message from you throughout this month has been finding that identity. And like you said, it's still a work in progress. In your experience, when do you know that? When do you know the identity of the team?
I think once you get an opportunity to play, you try and get a groove. But I think even more, my message is embracing those roles. Because roles change. Roles change throughout the year. You look at all the years of any team you want to take a look at, and it's always different from day one to the final last day. And so throughout that process and throughout this journey, declaring right now, regardless of what happens, everybody embrace their role and everybody buy into that for the betterment of the team. And, things usually happen in a good light as long as we are truly invested into doing it together.
Back to
AJ and Devontae both said today that it looks to them like the game is slowing down. As you get into another year here in the league, are you feeling that?
I think that's always a goal, and I say this, we talk about the my personal evolution as a player and growth as a player. It's just been a constant thing that I've always strived for from year to year, whether that be me coming into the University of Alabama as a freshman, going to OU my senior year, coming into here as a rookie and learning and just pushing myself every day. And so that's always the goal. That's always the goal. And, I think the beautiful thing about football is you never stop learning. Just as roles change and players change and evolve, the game changes. defenses change, offenses change. So there'll never not be a thirst and an eagerness to learn and the eagerness to be challenged and most importantly challenge myself to grow. And so hopefully that growth leads to many great things for this team.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.